Less than 24 hours, back to the same location. Not quite the same situation. Both teams with a game underneath their belt as they are looking to survive and advance. It's that time of the postseason as Ayersville run-ruled Leipzig 19-0 in 5. A little bit closer of a matchup in the nightcap. Don't tell Antwerp, though, it was an upset. The lower seed knocks off Coldwater 3-2, which means we get a rematch. These two teams played each other roughly a month ago. Ayersville won a pitcher's duel 1-0, but a lot more on the line here this afternoon as they're playing for the right to wear their uniform one more time. Welcome aboard, everybody. The Ayersville Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show is underway. Live from Napoleon, Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller. Scoop, if it plays out half as well on the field as it looks on paper, we are going to be in for a tremendous ball game today.
Well, we certainly are. On April 29th, as you mentioned, a 1-0 pilot win in Ayersville. But Antwerp, if they had their choice between which game to win, I think they would pick this district championship here this afternoon, with the winner advancing to next week's regional tournament.
Well, and we were going to hear from both head coaches, but we had a little bit of technical difficulty. So what we're going to do is summarize for you for Coach Bill Zartman and then, of course, for Shelley Snyder for Antwerp. Let's start with the Archers here because on paper they're clearly going to be the underdog as they enter this afternoon's contest on the season at 11-13, just 1-6 in the GMC. But they gave Ayersville all they could handle in that first meeting. And from what Coach Snyder told me, she said, we had our chances. She goes, we had multiple innings where we had base runners in scoring position. They hit into a double play in one of those key innings. They failed to sacrifice a runner. They got caught, I believe, either picked or attempting to steal a base. She said, we knew that we could have said this was our game. But instead, she goes, we tried to use it as a learning experience because when you go through situationals so often in practice, Scoop, it's easy to say, okay, let's just get this drill over with. She goes, no, it needs to mean something because what ended up happening was it potentially cost them a ball game. So this is a group that's not going to come in too tight. She wants them playing loose, not necessarily with house money, but she also says no reason to take the field intimidated.
You're exactly right because you think about it, even though it was a 1-0 Archer loss, I think they have to maybe come out of that game with some confidence. The fact they had opportunities. In a lot of teams, when you're facing a Kendra Waldron in the circle, you probably are not very confident coming in, but the fact that it was a one-run game, as you mentioned, less than a month ago, and they had some opportunities. So look for this Antwerp team to come out firing on all cylinders in what should be an excellent rematch here this afternoon.
Well, there you take a look at her counterpart in the circle here this afternoon. That's going to be Ellie Clem, and Clem has a very fine line in her own right. 119 innings pitched. She's allowed 128 hits, 69 runs, but what, Scoop, this really tells me is only 36 have been earned. So that means fielding percentage has been a little bit, if not a significant issue for the Archers this season. But how about this for a walk-to-strikeout ratio? 15 free passes to 135 Ks. She's a solid pitcher.
Oh, no question about it. A 9-to-1 strikeout walk ratio, that'll keep you in ball games and then some. But as you alluded to, Brent, it's been the defense that's been the trouble spot. Ellie Clem on the season, half the runs she's given up have been unearned. So I think it's going to be important for her teammates to play clean behind her, force Ayersville to earn everything. Opponents hitting just 252 off Clem this season. So hits and runs, that'll be a premium on both sides of the diamond here this afternoon.
On the flip side for the Pilots, again, a 19-0 win against Leipzig yesterday, and Kendra Waldron did Kendra Waldron type things. Absolutely spectacular. She only allowed one hit through 5 innings. She did have an uncharacteristic 3 walks, but 11 strikeouts. So she also fielded her position very well. You just seemingly know what you're going to get day in, day out when the Honey Badger's in the circle.
I totally agree. We talked about after the game last night a little bit how we didn't think she had her best stuff, but yet when you do the math, she throws a shutout, a one-hitter, has 11 strikeouts in 5 innings, and we're saying that's not her best ball, but she also is so good on the other side of the diamond as well, where she was 4 for 4, had a sac fly, had a home run, a couple doubles, several RBIs, just an all-round player as we've seen time and time again They're going to need her to step up huge once again if they want to break through this district tournament and reach the regionals.
And speaking of that, because you should be coming into this one with confidence if you're Ayersville, but at the same time, Coach Bill Zartman said it's a new day. It's the 24-hour rule. Not too high after a win, not too low after a loss. We were here when they got off the bus and were setting up in the dugout, and he called everybody to attention. He said, all right, it's 11:15. He goes, same drill, just a different day. He goes, we're not changing anything. You know what you need to do as far as warm-ups, stretches, getting into the cages. I asked him flat out, I said, if you need to give a rah-rah speech or some sort of big Newt Rockney-esque type of pump-up, he goes, then you probably don't have the same team that you thought you had. And he goes, we're not changing anything. He goes, we learned last year, maybe got out over our skis just a little bit, and the season ended a little sooner than they would have anticipated, certainly than they would have liked. He goes, we don't talk about that anymore. He goes, we talk about staying in the moment, not only game by game, but pitch by pitch. He said, if we do that, everything else is going to take care of itself.
Well, I couldn't agree more. You know, when you get to this level, it's all going to be quality teams.
Yep.
So you're going to have to really come to play. You can't take pitches off. You can't take plays off. If you blink, you could be in trouble, especially seeing a team for the second time. Both these teams have seen the other pitcher here a little bit, so they shouldn't be really shell-shocked. And, again, you need to be playing your best base or softball at the right time. I think for both teams, to get a quick start here could go a long ways here this afternoon.
So let me ask you this, because you so often hear about, okay, we've got to get some video on them. Maybe we'll take our coaches, or in this case, the team stuck around for the second game yesterday since they played the first end of that doubleheader to watch the Coldwater Antwerp game. But these two teams have actually played against each other. They have live reps against each other. So not necessarily having to make up the scout. You know what it is. I'll ask you from a former coach's perspective, is that a positive, is that a negative, or is that just a push at best?
Well, I think it's going to end up being a push. As a coach, though, you always try to make that a positive, the fact that, you know, you're focused. You know, I like the old Johnny Wooden approach where you're more concerned about yourself than your opponent. You don't want to reinvent the wheel here 25 games in the season. You want to keep doing what you do best. But the same token, I think it helps from a coach perspective. You know the hitters a little bit. You know the pitchers. You know maybe who to pitch around in certain situations. You know who to look for to maybe be aggressive on the base pass. All those types of things. As a coach, you always tuck them away. You're always thinking 2 or 3 plays ahead. And I think for both coaches, they understand that, and they're going to do just that. So in that regard, I'll say it's a push.
We're going to take a quick timeout. We're back with more of the Ayersville Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show right after this. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Ayersville Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Ayersville Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobayersville.com. For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Personalized service and quality products in a friendly and caring atmosphere. Schedule your appointment today. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Stadium Drive in Defiance and online at visionsource-brunswickeye.com. Simplify your everyday banking with convenient account options and digital banking features that fit your unique lifestyle. Premier Bank, everyday banking solutions designed for you. Explore solutions today at yourpremierbank.com. Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding. 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com. Visit Mark Motes Ford and check out some of the best new Ford models. Mark Motes Ford has been serving the Defiance community since 1916. Visit them today, County Road 424 in Defiance, and online at markmotesford.com.
Welcome back to our Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show here at Napoleon High School for this afternoon's district championship between the Antwerp Archers and the Ayersville Pilots. These teams, as we mentioned earlier, met back on April 29th in Ayersville, where the Pilots pulled out a nail-biter 1-0. We could see a very similar type game today. But first, let's talk about how these teams got here this afternoon. For Antwerp, they advanced in a first-round sectional matchup with Miller City with an 8-3 win. And then a thrilling 3-2 win last night against Continental right here at Napoleon, where the Archers put up 2 runs in the first inning, and they needed everything they could get to pull out a 3-2 win against the Pirates. Meanwhile, Ayersville, the number 1 seed, took a first-round bye. Then they thoroughly defeated Leipzig as they defeated the Vikings 19-0 right here in the first game at Napoleon High School. And now these two teams set to square off for the district championship here. They're just moments waiting here before we start. There you see the coaches there at home plate. The Archers led by Shelly Snyder in her 3rd season. And then, of course, 8th-year coach Bill Zartman of the Pilots. Those two converse, go over the ground rules. We should note that Antwerp has dropped the last 4 decisions to Ayersville. The last Archer win against the Pilots came back on April 19th, 2022, a 10-0 Archer win in Antwerp. Since that time, though, Ayersville has dismantled the Pilots 4 consecutive times, one being in last year's district tournament, and another time being a 1-0 GMC win this season. And again, Ayersville with their perfect 7-0 GMC record this year. They pick up their first GMC title since the 2002 season. Just the 3rd ever Ayersville GMC softball title. The other one occurred back in 1999. Antwerp, a team that also has 3 GMC titles hanging in their gymnasium. They won the softball crown in 05, repeated in 06. The last time the Archers were GMC champions came back in the 2012 season. So both teams know each other very well, being competitive rivals here as part of the Green Metals Conference. But right now, this time, all the marbles at stake here is Antwerp and Ayersville, moments away from teeing up here on the softball field. As we mentioned, it should be a good pitcher's duel between Ellie Clem of the Archers and Kendra Waldron of the Pilots, both really seasoned veterans. Waldron just a junior, Clem a senior. And something else to note, Ayersville right now comes in on a huge winning streak after starting the season 1-4. The Pilots on a 15-game winning streak going all the way back. Their last loss was at Sylvania Northview back on April 5th. So they've gone practically 8 weeks here without a blemish. Meanwhile, Antwerp comes in on a modest 2-game winning streak. They've won 3 of the last 4. A team that finished just 1-6 in the Green Metals Conference, perhaps playing their best softball at the right time. So look for this to be a good one. And I think coming out early could be a key for both teams here this afternoon.
Are you tired? You need to catch your breath a little bit there? All right, did we get starting lineups yet? You want to do them?
Yeah, we'll do the starting lineups right now. First, we'll start for the visitors from Antwerp.
Well, first let's start with our sponsor. You
well,
want
there
to
we
read
go.
it off? Absolutely.
We'll go with the Baker Schindler Company starting lineups for this afternoon. Baker Schindler Company proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company, Defiance, and Paulding. Baker-Schindler.com.
Fire away.
For Antwerp, the senior Ellie Clem will be pitching, will be leading off, followed by the junior Raylan Zuber, who will play center field. Batting third for the Archers, very good athlete, and Caroline Roars. Roars, a senior, will be playing shortstop. The cleanup hitter, a freshman, Taylor Hogans, will be playing left field. In right field, the junior Hayden Longarker will be catching. The sophomore, Kara Pierce, will be playing third base, and she'll be batting sixth. Batting seventh is sophomore Allison Sproles, who will be the designated player. And then batting eighth, the junior Rayleigh Franklin, playing right field. Batting ninth, Clara Roars, who will be playing second base. Roars, a freshman. And then for the Ayersville Pilots.
Let's go ahead and give the defensive lineup for them first. We'll wait until the bottom of the first.
Well, for Ayersville, doing the pitching will be Kendra Waldron, the junior. Her battery mate will be Daniela Coble, a freshman. Then across the infield, we have sophomore, junior, sophomore. Ava Sigler at third, Ariel Brown at short, Allison Eldridge at second. Aubrey Limber, we playing first base. Then the outfield, we have a junior, senior, and senior. Michaela Sierra in left. Rylan Beecher had a fantastic catch to end yesterday's ball game. Will be manning center field, and then right field, Mickey Shreve.
Those are our starting lineups brought to you by Baker Schindler Company. It's time now for our national anthem brought to you by the Defiance County Veterans Office. National anthem in the books. Thank you going out to our underwriter, the Defiance County Veterans Office. Proud to support local veterans and their families, connecting them with the resources available to them. If you'd like to know what you qualify for if you're a veteran or a family member, give their office a call at 419-782-6861. The men in blue have drawn the following assignments here this afternoon. Dan Carnahan has the gear on. He's calling balls and strikes. Gary Gritsaw will be making the calls at first. And all the impartial decisions at third will be made by Chris Blanton. Well, they've had a chance, less than 24 hours, to get some sleep, get a good breakfast, and get mentally focused. But now it's time for ball. First pitch getting set to be thrown out. Brought to you by the Arthur Law Firm. Passionate, professional, personal. Learn more at arthurlawfirm.com. In the circle for the Ayersville Pilots, it will be the junior, the Honey Badger, Kendra Waldron. She is locked in. I had a chance to chat with her a little bit as she was warming up earlier before the game. She was all smiles, but Scoop, when it's time, she flips a switch. As all great athletes can do, they know when it's time to lock in.
Boy, she really does. I've never met such a competitor, that girl that just wants to win. And she certainly always has her game face on when she gets out there. She's all business. For Waldron, this will be her 21st start of the season. She comes in 16-3, having won her last 15 decisions. She has a 1.20 ERA, a 7-to-1 strikeout walk ratio. Opponents at just 155 off Waldron this season.
Digging in against her counterpart, Ellie Clem. First pitch is in there for a strike, and we are underway from Napoleon. Waldron, same in-between routine. Pre-pitch, steps back, smacks the ball in her hand. Is this one lined foul down the right field line? She took a little something off of that, and Clem, actually with some pretty good bat speed, got around on it, but was a little too early as Ellie Clem digs in from the left side. Clem hitting an impressive Scoop 463 on the season.
Yeah, it leads the Archers. She also has an on-base percentage north of 500 at 514. She leads the Archers in runs, hits, and she also has good wheels and has 4 doubles on the season as well.
The 1-2. Waldron deals. Looks like she pulled a little bit of a string. This one chopped foul up the third base side. Clem wasn't trying to do too much there, just catch a piece of it. She does. She lives to see another pitch.
Yeah, great job of spoiling a tough pitch there from Waldron. Waldron doing an excellent job of moving the softball around early.
Waldron deals. Was that a rise ball or just a high fastball? Either way, it had a little something on it.
It looked with the rotation on it, looked like a rise ball there, and a good job there once again by Clem to fight off another tough pitch from Waldron.
Count remains 1-2. Change up, got her swinging. They'll have to throw down to first, and the snare is made by Aubrey Limmer. That is a Premier Bank strikeout to open up the ball game.
Tremendous sequence that time from Kendra Waldron. She has a lot of respect from Ellie Clem. You can see that.
Yes.
She threw mainly off-speed pitches to her, but that was a nasty changeup there to get that Premier Bank strikeout.
So that will bring up the two-hole hitter, Raylyn Zuber. Zuber. Swing and a miss. Zuber hitting .279 on the season in the two-hole. Does have one extra base hit. The rest have been singles, so she's more of a contact hitter. She forces a smile. She got out on her front foot there. I'm not sure if that was a straight change, but just a little change in velo by Waldron, and she's ahead in the count 0-2. Brings this one upstairs, and Coble. Baby Shark has to get out of her crouch. 1-2. Sun beaming down. The wind's not nearly as gusty as it was yesterday. As a matter of fact, I look out at the stars and stripes in the outfield fence as there's a calm third strike on the inside corner, a backwards K. 2 up, 2 down, both via a Premier Bank strikeout for Kendra Waldron.
Another great sequence that time for the junior Kendra Waldron. She threw a couple rise balls upstairs, a good-looking fastball, and then she paints the inside corner to knees.
So Carolyn Roars digs in from the right side. She was sitting fastball but can't catch up with it. She's hitting a healthy .356 on the season.
Well, if you have to go against Caroline Roars, this is where you want to do it. 2 outs, bases empty.
Well, Roars does have some pop in the bat. She's the only archer who's gone yard this season. But Scoop, she also has some wheels. She's got 3 triples on the season.
Yeah, she had an extra base hit that first inning to drive home a big Archer run in that 3-2 semifinal win over the Continental Pirates.
And she's down in the count here 0-2. We'll see what Waldron deals. She comes right at her. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. 3 straight pitches, and Kendra Waldron strikes out the side to open up the ball game. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're through 1/2 inning. Archers nothing. Pilots coming to the plate. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Arthur Law Firm, we understand how overwhelming life can be after being seriously injured in a car accident. With over 50 years of experience, Arthur Law Firm has a track record of getting the results you deserve. When you don't know where to turn, get answers with Arthur. Call us today.
Ohio is in a foster care crisis. Kids with real needs, medical, emotional, behavioral, are waiting for homes. Cornerstone Treatment Foster Care is looking for families ready to make a difference. You've thought about it, now it's time. Contact Cornerstone Treatment Foster Care today.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
Sun beaming down here at Napoleon, the wind picking up just a little bit, and there you take a good look at the Antwerp starter, senior Ellie Clem, as this one popped into shallow left field, and Kendra Waldron on the first pitch she sees, picking up where she left off yesterday, a leadoff single this time.
How about a district turn for Kendra Waldron? Now a perfect 5 for 5.
Yep.
Also has a sac fly in 6 plate appearances. 1 pitch base hit there for Waldron.
Here's Michaela Sierra digging in from the left side. She had, look, everybody that stepped to the plate had a productive day yesterday. She had a couple of base hits, digging in, squares to bunt, and takes a strike. Let's go ahead and take a look at the batting lineup for the Pilots that will be facing Ellie Clem for Antwerp. As you saw it earlier, Kendra Waldron led off on the first pitch you saw with a single. Michaela Sierra roaming second. Slap hitter batting in the 2-hole. Lays a beautiful bunt down the first base line. Nobody covering. The tag wasn't made. Waldron heads up play, heads into third. That is just tremendous execution.
You can't execute any better than we saw right there. Credit to the junior, Michaela Sierra, a perfect drag bunt down the first base line. Malin Carnahan comes in, feels it, tried to make a quick tag, but Sierra beyond her, she's safe, an infield hit, and heads up base running by Waldron. She goes first to third on that bunt single, and the Pilots have something cooking early.
So here's Ariel Brown, the junior shortstop, digging in from the right side. Brown hitting .390. That average has actually taken a couple of points jump after yesterday's game as a straight steal by Sierra. She'll get down there without a throw, so now both runners in scoring position. The pitch was a strike. Let's finish up the Pilot lineup here. Sigler will bat in the cleanup spot. She's on deck right now as this one misses upstairs. Daniela Coble, the freshman, playing catcher, batting fifth. Aubrey Limber, the sophomore, at first, hitting sixth. Bottom third of the order, Addison Zartman with that bum knee still in as a designated player for her bat. Rylan Beecher, the senior center fielder, hits eighth. And Mickey Shreve, the senior roaming right field, bats seventh. And Shreve is not your prototypical 9-hole hitter. She came into this weekend hitting .381. As the count 2-1 to Ariel Brown. Brown just missed a homer in her third at bat yesterday. She took a hefty swing there and comes up empty. So we'll take a look at the Antwerp defense after. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at it right now. You see Ellie Clem in the circle. Junior Hayden Lenaker behind the plate. From left to right on the infield, it goes Kara Pierce, Carolyn Roars, the senior, then freshman, senior, and Clara Roars and Malin Carnahan. From left to right in the green, freshman, junior, Taylor Hogans, Raylan Zuber, and Rayleigh Franklin. This one hit hard and deep to right field. It will roll all the way to the wall, and this one's going to clear the bases. Waldron scores. Sierra rounding third. She will touch the plate. Ariel Brown going oppo with a 2 RBI single, and is she okay?
Yeah, she stumbled across the back there trying to get a double, perhaps a triple, but once she fell down, she didn't want to run themselves out, and then she heads back to first base. Looks like she's all right. Good-looking swing there from Brown.
Just her ego bruised a little bit, but you can laugh when you bring home the first 2 runs of the game. Great piece of hitting with 2 strikes, though, by Ariel Brown. Scoop, she kept her hands inside the ball on that pitch and just drove it to the opposite field.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of risky there. Pitching to Brown, who's hitting .390. You got first base open. But they did have her in a 2-strike count, but a big 2-strike hit by Brown. And the Archers have struck early here, still without an out.
Ava Sigler digging in, looking at an 0-2 count after a swing and a miss. Righty-righty matchup. Rise ball, runner goes. Throw down to second, will short hop the bag, and that's a great snare by Carolyn Roars to keep that ball from going into center field, or that's an extra 60 feet.
Yeah, great jump that time by Brown, and again, good-looking slide, but a nice play there by Caroline Roars. Roars, one of the special athletes of the GMC. She first-team basketball, second-team volleyball, second-team softball, just a premier athlete.
This one, a high fly ball, playable though, back a couple steps on the grass. The wind took it just a little bit farther than Clara Roars originally thought, but she stays with it to haul it in for the first out of the inning.
Oh, much needed first out there for Ellie Clem, and right now you just got to minimize things. You've already given up 2, but don't let this 2-run inning turn into a 3 or 4-run inning. So bear down right here, go after the freshman, Daniela Coble.
Coble, we've affectionately, at least I have, named her Baby Shark as the freshman catcher back there. She has played well beyond her years and was even more well-spoken during our postgame yesterday. This one popped up, drifting. Is it going to stay fair? A running catch. Oh, what a basket catch made by Rayleigh Franklin. Heads up move, though, to tag up. My goodness. That looked like it was going to fall, Scoop, as you talk about in the Bermuda Triangle, and Franklin made a spectacular running catch.
Boy, she really did. Credit to Junior. She just absolutely laid out, sold out on that catch, and came up with it, but alert base running that time from Brown as she tags up, heads to third base.
So here's Aubrey Limber, the sophomore first baseman, digging in from the left side. We'll take a 2-out hit to bring home the 3rd run of the inning. Well, not necessarily. Also, if you're Ariel Brown, you need to be reading any balls in the dirt, too. We haven't seen anything that would remotely lend itself to that in the early going. That's a beautifully spotted pitch by Ellie Clem for a strike.
And right now, the left side of that Antwerp infield cheating in, knowing that Limber does a great job just trying to slap the ball on the ground.
Chokes up, pops it up, straight back. Leneker from her knees, tremendous catch. Wow, they have flashed some pretty fancy leather. That happened right in front of us, and Hayden Leneker from her knees makes a basket catch to retire the side. It could have been worse, but as it stands, Ayersville draws first blood. 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and 1 left aboard. We're through 1. Ayersville 2, Antwerp nothing. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and mental health.
Find the resources you need
To make your mental health a priority.
love your mind.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Personalized service and quality products in a friendly and caring atmosphere. Schedule your appointment today. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Stadium Drive in Defiance and online at visionsource-brunswickeye.com.
Top of the second, Taylor Waldron takes the circle with something she didn't enjoy to start the game, and that's the lead. She'll deal to 4, 5, and 6. She struck out the side to open up the ball game. Taylor Hogans leads it off. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Hayden Loninger standing in the on-deck circle, and Kara Pierce in the hole. This one pops. I tell you what, you can tell almost early. Sometimes pitchers maybe need an inning or two to get their stuff going, and then there are other days where you can say they've got their best stuff right out of the gate, and that certainly seems to be the case for the Honey Badger, Kendra Waldron, here this afternoon. And just as I say that, she goes wide with a rise ball, and she's upset with herself in her body language. It's 2-1.
Well, I agreed with what you said there because you could see in the first pitch, Ellie Clem back in the first inning, she was all business, hitting her spots, and there she hits her spot once again. Well, that's a tough pitch. Hogan's up 2-1, and here's count, and then you paint something on the inside edge. Well, that's a tough pitch, and that evens things up at 2-2.
This one, swing and a miss. She goes down for another Premier Bank strikeout. 4 Archers, 4 Ks for Kendra Waldron.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that Waldron right now is certainly locked in. She has everything working. She's thrown a lot of pitches here. I think I've seen 4 different pitches here and just 4 different batters. And there she comes with the gas down Main Street to get on top.
Of Hayden Loninger.
Yeah, Loninger 0-1.
Loninger, open stance, deep crouch from the right side, swing and a miss. Something that we haven't talked a ton about. We talk more about it during baseball, but Scoop, you can say the same thing during softball. Again, Kendra Waldron is not afraid to bust hitters inside. She won't just work upstairs and downstairs. Strikeout, but this one's going to squirt out of the glove by Daniela Coble. Throws this one down the right field line, but a nice job by Eldridge to back up the play. It will go down as a strikeout, but will also mean a base runner on the pass ball. So instead of 2 down, nobody aboard, there's 1 down and 1 aboard, despite officially striking out every Antwerp Archer so far.
Well, the Archers will take whatever they can get, and that time on this strikeout wild pitch, Longaker is able to head to first base, so they do have the potential tying run at the plate in the sophomore Kara Pierce.
Pierce squares to bunt, swings and misses. The throw down to second, the tag is made. Got her! Daniela Coble, all business as she just looks into the dugout, readjusts the dirt behind home plate. Yeah, she expected to do it, and she did.
What a throw that time by the freshman. She had not only had a strong throw, but a nice quick release, and that wasn't even close at second base.
So all of a sudden, 2 down and the base is empty as Pierce will try and reset. Swing and a miss. Pierce entering this afternoon's contest, hitting .220. Swing and a miss here. She goes down swinging. 3 up, 3 down. A little more unconventional here in the top of the second, but Kendra Waldron has yet to retire anybody other than a strikeout. 6 up, 6 down. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left aboard. We'll head to the bottom of the second. Pilots up 2-0. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Personalized service and quality products in a friendly and caring atmosphere. Schedule your appointment today. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Stadium Drive in Defiance and online at visionsource-brunswickeye.com.
Back for the bottom of the second at Napoleon. Ayersville leading 2-0 as the leadoff hitter Allison Zartman sends a high fly ball into right center field. We should give her a nickname. I'm just thinking like straight line runner, because all she's got to do is find grass and sprint for 60 feet, and that's exactly what she did. She's got a leadoff single.
And once again, Zartman comes up, first pitch swinging, is able to find some pasture out there in right center field.
And we will have a courtesy runner. Yep. It's going to be Miles. Well, we saw that yesterday. She can re-enter, obviously, but Gabby Miles will be doing the running right now for Addison Zartman. That'll bring up Rylan Beecher, senior center fielder. Beecher, as Scoop mentioned, made a tremendous running catch to end the game yesterday. But again, also was successful at the plate. She entered yesterday's contest hitting .269. She goes after a rise ball, comes up empty.
And Brent, think about that catch. That was only the 4th ball
put in play.
That was put in play by Lipsick, but yet she was ready to go. She got an excellent read off the bat and really was highway robber. That took away extra bases to end that ball game.
Yeah, she goes fishing here on a pitch outside and got way out on her front foot and kind of cast it. So 0-2. Beecher went 1 for 4 yesterday with a run scored. Reached on a couple of errors. Looking at an 0-2 count here. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 as Ellie Clem gets a huge strikeout. As that will keep the line moving for the 9-hole. But not your typical, prototypical 9-hole hitter. Mickey Shreve, Scoop, she comes into today. She came into this weekend hitting .381. That average has jumped up a few points after a standout game yesterday, and she's first pitch swinging here. Lines this one into right center field. It will bounce, and Miles read it very late, and I'm waiting for somebody to make a call. All 3 men in blue are staring at each other, and she's not being told to leave, but that ended up being a little closer. She didn't read that down as early as maybe she would have liked.
Yeah, exactly right, and that's why it's important as a runner. You have to know where the outfield is at all times so you get a better read off the bat. Again, that was one of those 50-50 balls, but you have to be off a little bit more. That was awfully close, but a base hit there for Shreve, and that turns the lineup over to Waldron.
She takes strike 1. Kendra has yet to be retired officially so far this weekend. She did have a sacrifice fly yesterday, but again, leadoff hitter stands way up in the box, looking at an 0-1 count, and this one misses way upstairs. Waldron singled and scored 1 of 2 runs just an inning ago.
Yeah, that's the last place you want to see Waldron, first and second, just 1 out. You have to pitch to her.
1-1. Oh, she elevated, and Waldron came underneath it, now down in the count 1-2.
Yeah, it's a good-looking rise ball that time by the senior Ellie Clem. Waldron trying to scoot up in that box, maybe get to that softball before it gets too much rise on it.
Yep. She's clearly sitting something off speed. She is extremely up in the box. And she went fishing there, and she knew it. She's upset with herself, but she's a strikeout victim, a Premier Bank strikeout. Makes it 2 down here in the Pilots' second.
Well, that's a big out there for Ellie Clem, the second Premier Bank strikeout of the inning. Comes at a good time.
So that'll bring up Sierra. Reached on an infield single. Takes a pitch outside here for ball 1. Pilots scored in every inning yesterday en route to a 19-0 win. The opponent, no disrespect to Lipsick, a little bit more difficult here this afternoon, but golden opportunity with runners at first and second as a swing fouled straight back. That caught a piece of Hayden Lonecker, but she appears to be okay. Lonecker made a tremendous basket catch from her knees in foul territory to end the last inning. 1-1. Boy, she's got that rise working.
She does, and you certainly want to retire Sierra here with Ariel Brown in the on-deck circle, who had that 2-run RBI single.
The 1-2 popped up. Not so sure that she was confident on that swing, but once you commit, at that point, Scoop, all you're trying to do is just catch a piece of it. You don't need to do anything with it.
You don't want to put that ball in play because it's going to be an easy out. So she did the right thing. She fought it off. She lives for another pitch. Count still 1-2.
1-2. This one sharply hit up the middle and past the diving Roars. They're going to go ahead and wave Miles around third. She scores. A clutch 2-out, 2-strike single by Michaela Sierra, and the Pilots lead it 3-0.
Great approach that time by Sierra, and again, that was all predicated by fighting off that tough 1-2 pitch just moments ago. And a huge 2-out, 2-strike hit, and Ayersville's able to extend that lead to 3-0.
Up steps Ariel Brown, 1 for 1, 2 RBI single just a frame ago. She's first pitch swinging, a number to short. Coming in, Roars gobbles it up, makes the throw, and they get her by a step on the bang-bang play at first. So that will retire not only Brown, but up the side here in the bottom of the second, but not before the Pilots come up with a little more insurance. 1 run on 3 hits, no errors, and a couple left aboard. We're through 2. Pilots 3, Archers nothing. You're watching DCTV Sports.
1 in 10 kids vape. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes.
The Health Class Film Guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Talk to your child about vaping today.
Simplify your everyday banking with convenient account options and digital banking features that fit your unique lifestyle. Premier Bank, everyday banking solutions designed for you. Explore solutions today at yourpremierbank.com.
Back at Napoleon. Changeover music is the boss, Bruce Springsteen, but there you get a good look at the Honey Badger, Kendra Waldron. She has finished her warm-ups. We'll see how long the streak continues, but she has not faced a batter over the minimum. She has faced 6 Archers. She has struck out 6 Archers. Bottom of the order here in the top of the third for Antwerp. Allison Sproles, the designated player, leads it off. Riley Franklin, the right fielder, on deck. And second baseman Claire Roars in the hole.
We should mention, though, that Hayden Lonecker ruined the perfect game by reaching first on a drop third strike, a strike that was well out of the strike zone. She chased it, ended up on first base, but was quickly retired by Daniela Coble trying to steal second base. But still, as you mentioned, perfect 6 for 6 in strikeouts and batters faced.
Swing and a miss here. Sproles looking down the third base line, trying to get the signals from Coach. Sproles hitting just a $175. Now, she's way up in the box. I can understand that if you're going up against a finesse pitcher and you want to try and catch a bender before it breaks, but right there, again, Kendra Waldron can bring a 62 to 63 mile-an-hour fastball, and that really shortens your reaction time down. Another Premier Bank strikeout.
Yeah, I agree. Just don't have a lot of time. That ball's coming in there nearly mid-60s here this afternoon. You've got very little time to react.
Riley Franklin hitting 200 entering today's contest. Digging in from the right side. And again, with one exception, nobody's reached more than a 2-ball count for the Archers so far here through 2 1/3. What that means, if you're a casual fan, is if you can't get ahead in the count, you become defensive. I don't want to say a guess hitter, but for lack of a better term, you can't be as aggressive as you like, because here's a swing and a miss, and Franklin's reaction says it all. She just shook her head as if to say, wow, how do I catch up to that?
Yeah, that time Rayleigh just tardy on that nice-looking fastball from Waldron.
Strike 3 on the inside corner, and Franklin knew it. A backwards K for a Premier Bank strikeout. 2 away.
Yeah, that's Premier Bank strikeout number 8 now for Kendra Waldron. Again, she's not messing around. We've only seen the 1-3 ball count. She's gotten so many Antwerp hitters in negative counts.
9-hole, Clara Roars digs in. Takes ball 1. Well, all of a sudden, this place has become as quiet as a library. Swing and a miss. She worked her downstairs in the zone that time. Roars thought she could get something, but unable to do it. Roars hitting .356 entering today's contest, so a little bit of punch in the bottom of the lineup. But right now, much like the rest of her teammates, trying to solve the mystery that is Ayersville Pilot pitcher Kendra Waldron, as she takes here just the second hitter in 9 batters to reach a 2-ball count.
Yeah, it's almost like a win. You get
exactly
into a hitter's count.
Swing and a miss, and then she does that because she can rely on it. And now at 2-2, what are you sitting on here? Or is it more like looking for a specific spot in your zone if you're a hitter against Kendra Waldron?
Right now, you just have to think fastball, especially being a 9-hitter. I don't think Waldron wants to get too fancy here.
No.
She's really been effective, as we've said, reached the minimum number of batters right now with 2 outs in the 3rd inning.
I should go to the rosin here. This is the first 3-ball count to any Antwerp batter. And she overthrew that one, ball 4. First, technically earned base runner of the afternoon for Antwerp. The pass ball on the 3rd strike was the first, but this is the first free pass given up by Kendra Waldron, and it turns the lineup over as arguably the best hitter in an Archer uniform, Ellie Clem, battled to lead off the game, but eventually struck out swinging. Waldron deals, change-up, she froze her. It's not just about working off of 1 or 2 pitches, Scoop. She knows what to throw when.
Well, she's got so much respect for Ellie Clem, and we mentioned the first time Clem saw more off-speed pitches, but there she comes right back after that filthy changeup with a good-looking fastball right at the knees.
And speed your bat up. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, right now, you have to feel you're kind of guessing right now if you're Antwerp.
The 0-2, another changeup. This one a little number towards second. Eldridge has to hustle, flips, cast and all. She's playing like it doesn't matter. The first ball put into play this afternoon by the Archers, and score at 4-3 on the putout. No runs on no hits, no errors, 1 left aboard. We are quickly through 2.5. No change in our score. Ayersville 3, Antwerp nothing. You're watching DCTV Sports.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. But only you can prevent wildfires.
Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding. 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com.
You can hear the wind starting to pick up as there you take a look at the meeting in the circle from the infield for the Archers. Bottom of the 3rd, Ayersville 3. Antwerp nothing, as Ellie Clem will deal to 4, 5, and 6 for the Pilots. Sigler, first pitch swinging, pops it up left side. 1 pitch, 1 out as Carolyn Roars squeezes.
Great start there for Ellie Clem as Ayersville all afternoon long. They've been early swingers here this afternoon. It's paid off. They got 3 runs here through 2 innings, but a big first out to retire the sophomore Ava Sigler.
So here's Daniela Coble digging in, 0 for 1 with a fly out to right. First pitch swinging, goes Oppo again, this time on the ground. and she will just kind of Cadillac it down the first base line with a one-out single.
Well, right now, I really love the aggressive approach by the Pilots, and that's something that's not by accident. That's by design. You're seeing a pitcher in Ellie Clem. We mentioned a 9-1 strikeout walk ratio. She's only walked 15 hitters in about 24 games, so she's not giving up freebies. So why waste a good pitch when you see it early?
Digging in from the left side, taking in the dirt, Aubrey Limber, 0 for 2. Popped out to the catcher, Hayden Loneker, in foul territory to end the first inning. Loneker made arguably the most athletic play of the game, one of the most we've seen all season.
That was an unbelievable catch from her knees, and she caught that right about the shoelaces, but a fantastic catch. Never an easy catch when you're a catcher, even when you're on your feet and you've got a good read on the softball.
So, Hayden, we saw you. We continue to see you. 2-0. Squaring to bunt. Oh, this is a beauty up the third base line. Pierce charges. She's going to have to eat the softball. Boy, what a decision on a 2-0 count, and you couldn't have rolled it down the third base line any better.
Well, we've seen a couple fantastic bunts, and that may be the best of the couple we've seen. Just well placed, as you said, Brent. You couldn't have set that ball in a nicer spot. And credit Kara Pierce that time. A lot of times you try to make a play in that where you don't have one. She saved a throw, which keeps Coble from advancing to third.
And it is the spot for Addie Zartman to hit, but instead I see freshman Peyton Ensign pick up a bat. So this has been a position with Zartman's knee injury. I don't want to say has been kind of a roll of the dice, because Coach Zartman knows what he's doing and when he wants to do it, but Gabby Miles is a courtesy runner, and now Peyton Ensign checking in to hit.
We understand you can only re-enter the starter one time, so Zartman's already been substituted for. You can bring her in here, but then if she gets on base, what are you going to do? If you pull her, you lose her bat for the rest of the game. So you keep her as an ace in the hole in case you need a good pinch hit situation in that spot in late innings.
1-0, Ensign, excuse me. Swings and misses. Peyton Ensign, the younger cousin of former multi-sport standout at Ayersville, Belle McGuire. 1-1. She takes a strike on the inside corner. There is where I think Ellie Clem wants to live today, Scoop. She's been able to hit that spot periodically, but I think she wants it more.
Well, I agree, because there's too much power in these Ayersville bats. If you miss upstairs, they can make you pay in a hurry.
Yep.
You try to keep that ball downstairs, try to induce a lot of ground balls, especially when you have first and second here and you have a force at any base.
2-2. Ensign, swing and misses. Peyton Ensign goes down for out number 2.
Another Premier Bank strikeout for Ellie Clem. That comes at a great time, as that prevents Coble and Limber from moving up. So now 2 outs, but Rylan Beecher at the plate, who had a hit yesterday in that big win for the Pilots.
Struck out swinging in her first at bat here. She takes ball 1. Shreve in the on-deck circle. She'd love to step up to the plate with some teammates aboard. Right now, Clem trying to shut things down and keep the Pilots off the board for the first time in this ball game, as Beecher swung through a pitch up around the letters. 1-1. Outfield is playing her to pull, especially Zuber in center, as busting her inside. Strike 2. That is a tough pitch from Ellie Clem.
That's a nasty pitch, especially after the pitch before kind of tailed away from Beecher on the outside edge. Then she paints the black on the inside corner.
Now, Beecher went fishing last time in 3 pitches and struck out swinging on a rise ball above the letters. This time she holds. Even the count up at 2-2. Off speed, check swing. She did catch a piece of it. And I think, did that bounce off the plate or her foot? She
bounced off the plate, yeah. That was a nasty pitch there by Clem. Again, she took a lot off, but she kept it downstairs right where she needed. And that time Beecher fights it off. Count remains even here at 2-2.
Beecher will have to be protecting as this one chopped. Oh, did it hit the runner? Into right field, it hit Aubrey Limber, and instead of potentially an RBI single, that's going to be out number 3. Tough break for the Pilots. And indeed, that is going to be it for the Pilots as they are turned away scoreless for the first inning this weekend. No runs on 2 hits, no errors, couple left aboard. No change in our score as we head to the top of the 4th. Ayersville 3, Antwerp nothing. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Visit Mark Moats Ford and check out some of the best new Ford models. Mark Moats Ford has been serving the Defiance community since 1916. Visit them today, County Road 424 in Defiance, and online at markmoatsford.com.
We welcome you back to the top of the 4th, and there you see Kendra Waldron in beast mode right now as she will deal to 2, 3, and 4. Raylan Zuber, Carolyn Roars, and Taylor Hogans. Only 2 base runners, 1 via a pass ball on a call or swing and a miss on a 3rd strike, and 1 walk. Otherwise, little chin music. Zuber maybe saw the season flash in front of her eyes a little bit there. She's none the worse for wear. She's looking at a 1-1 count. Zuber struck out looking back in the 1st. Oh, beautiful pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2.
Well, through 10 batters, 8 strikeouts, 1 walk in that weak ground ball to Eldridge at second base.
The 1-2. Competitive, but a good hold by Zuber to even the count up at 2-2.
That was a great hold because that pitch was just off the plate. But again, Waldron hitting her spots, and now she'll bring that in a little bit, 2-2.
Fouled back. We'll do it again. Two balls, 2 strikes. Got her on a rise ball. Swing and a miss. Another Premier Banks strikeout. And picking up where she left off, Kendra Waldron, just in dominating fashion right now.
Yeah, she's really locked in. Again, she's hitting her spots, getting so many first pitch strikes across, getting so many Antwerp hitters and negative counts.
This one going after it. Carolyn Roars wasn't fooled and she wasn't guessing, but she just was a little late as she fouls the first pitch away. Strike 1. Waldron sets, deals. Looked like she was trying to come with a changeup, and every now and then, Scoop, she bowls one across the plate. And she's upset with herself. She's going to take a little extra time in between pitches to refocus. Wind starting to pick up again, blowing across the diamond from left to right. Busts her inside, ball 2. Home plate umpire Dan Carnahan has been giving the inside corner really to both pitchers consistently here this afternoon. 2-1, and there's another. Strike 2. Men in Blue have done a good job, although to be honest with you, Gary Gritsaw and Chris Blanton in the field haven't really been tested when only one team's actually had base runners.
Been so many punch outs.
Yep. Fouled straight back. We'll do it again. Count remains 2-2. And we always give good umpiring credit on the air, especially if they've maybe run Scoop Miller during his coaching career.
These guys have been spotless, so I can't really complain about anything I've seen. And there's a great job by Roars just to fight that pitch off. A nasty changeup again.
That pitch was in Coble's mitt. I mean, she literally hit that out of the catcher's mitt to stay alive. So we'll do it again, 2-2. Waldron gets the signal, deals. Squirts out of the mitt of Coble, and for just the second time this afternoon, An Archer batter has run the count full.
This is just a great matchup between these two right here. Just great athletes have gone head-to-head on the basketball court here in the softball diamond.
Payoff pitch. Swing. Fairly well hit to left field, but charging and played perfectly by Michaela Sierra. Just the second ball put into play this afternoon, and the defense is more than up to the task, 2 away.
That was a great at-bat there by Caroline Roars, but just better pitching that time by Waldron as she gets Roars to fly out to Sierra. So 2 quick outs here in this 4th inning for this Archer defense.
Here's Taylor Hogan, 0 for 1, struck out swinging. Off-speed pitch, fouls it straight back. You know, if you could just sit on one pitch or zone up on one location, it just makes things so much easier as a hitter. But when you deal with a pitcher who not only can spot every pitch they want, but also has 4, sometimes 5 pitches that they can spot, what's your approach stepping up to the plate? How do you take something away from basically an all-star?
Well, it's tough because a lot of times what hitters will do, they'll crowd the plate and force you to force Waldron to throw on the outside edge. But Waldron, as we've said before, she's not afraid to come in on these hitters. And a lot of these hitters are trying to take away that inside edge. They're really crowding the plate. That's how masterful I think Waldron's been here this afternoon, really hitting her spots.
And I think that's a credit, too, as the 1-2 misses upstairs. If you're consistent and hit your spots, and specifically what we're talking about here on the inside corner, that's where you count on the eye of the home plate umpire. And right now, Dan Carnahan, I think, has had a really solid strike zone as this one chopped foul, third base line. So as a pitcher, you can feel more confident knowing you can work both halves of the plate because you're going to get the call.
Yeah, and the call, they haven't been wide strikes. They've been hitting the corner.
Exactly.
He's been giving them, but a lot of times when you got a kid that's crowding the plate, it misses hitting them by a couple inches. You almost think, well, that must have been inside, but the zone's been very consistent. You know, we saw that yesterday. We're seeing that again this afternoon.
2-2. She pulls a string. Lazy ground ball to third. Sigler with a long throw. Nice stretch by Limber. Well, they're making contact. They're putting the ball in play, but the defense is also pretty solid for Ayersville. No runs on no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. Pace to this ball game as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Pilots 3. Archers nothing. You're watching DCTV Sports.
In life, unexpected challenges can test us. If you've been seriously injured in a car accident, you deserve a team that understands. Because your story matters. Call Arthur Law Firm today. We'll fight for you every step of the way.
Ohio is in a foster care crisis. Kids with real needs, medical, emotional, behavioral, are waiting for homes. Cornerstone Treatment Foster Care is looking for families ready to make a difference. You've thought about it, now it's time. Contact Cornerstone Treatment Foster Care today.
Bottom of the 4th brings up the bottom of the order for the Ayersville Pilots. The 9-hole, Mickey Shreve will lead it off. Lineup turns over. Kendra Waldron on deck. Michaela Sierra in the hole. 3 runs on 9 hits. No errors for the Pilots. No runs on no hits. And no errors for the Archers. As Shreve, there's that inside corner. We talked about both pitchers wanting to work it, and that time Clem the beneficiary. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, it's a great pitch, and Shreve, another girl that's really right on top of the plate, so hard to hit that without really being on your hands.
This one a lazy liner in the 5-5 hole, right between third and short. And Mickey Shreve, proof that you don't necessarily have to hit a scorcher, just place it where they ain't. And she's got a leadoff single to open up the Pilot 4.
Wow, what a luxury to have a senior in Mickey Shreve down there in that 9 spot, a second leadoff hitter. And now that turns the lineup over to Kendra Waldron,
who was retired for the first time this entire weekend in her last at bat in the 2nd as she struck out swinging on a rise ball. And no surprise, Ellie Clem's going to see if she can't get the junior to chase. She does not on this one. It's just got that little shimmy as she digs into the batter's box as she swings and misses here. She's got a pre-pitch routine here. She steps out when she's at the plate, takes a couple swings, steps in, and we'll see the shimmy here and then the twirl of the bat. It reminds me of Major League 2 a little bit with Jack Parkman. As this one popped foul. Is it going to stay playable? Drifting over? It will not. 1-2. The only difference between the character of Jack Parkman and Kendra Waldron is Kendra Waldron is an absolutely delightful person. So 1-2. All right. Rarity here, but you're ahead in the count if you're Clem. You see if you can get her to chase again on this one.
You certainly try.
Scoop is choked up in this at bat as it misses inside. You just love softball so much, don't you?
You know, a lot of times you want to pitch around somebody like Waldron, but
with a runner aboard,
you have too many good hitters behind her. You've got a runner on first, so you have to go after her, but you got her in a negative count.
2-2. This one out in front, foul territory down the left field line. You can just tell by the sound off the barrel she didn't quite get it cleanly. And now she's battling with 2 strikes.
You know that last at bat is in Waldron's mind when she struck out, so she's determined right here she's going to do something a little bit different this time around.
2-2 on the way from Clem. She got her chasing again. Strike 3.
Credit Clem. That was a tremendous sequence.
Yep.
She used that rise ball multiple times, and that time, once again, Waldron just not able to hold up there on that 2-2 pitch. Boy, that's a big first out to retire Kendra Waldron. And that's the 4th Premier Bank strikeout for Ellie Clem here this afternoon.
So that'll bring up Sierra digging in, squares to bunt, but pops it up, foul territory. Michaela Sierra has had an excellent afternoon. She reached on a bunt single down the first base line where the first baseman, Carnahan, had to come in. The second baseman, Roars, just didn't get over in time, and she out-sprinted the tag. She also has an RBI single up the middle in the second inning.
Yeah, Sierra also had 3 hits last night in that big 19-0 win, and she nearly had a 4th. If you remember, Brent, she dropped down a bunt single but was recalled out for stepping out of the box here.
So with 2 away, that'll bring up Ariel Brown. Oh, she had a rip. Woo! Sweet swing. Just a little late to even up the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. Wow. If you Clem, you got away with one there.
You did. She's such a dangerous hitter.
Pulls a string and paints the inside third, and there's some maturity from Ellie Clem. That last pitch was flushed. It didn't bother her whatsoever, and she came back and put it exactly where she wanted for strike 2.
Well, that is exactly where she wanted. Right at the knees, took a little off. And there
another
she goes
hefty
to that
swing.
Rise ball. Again, you make sure you do not miss here on Ariel Brown.
Count stays at 1-2, 2 down, runner at first. This one misses above the visor. Now the Pilots scored 2 in the first, 1 in the second. Had a couple of base runners on a frame ago, but were turned away. Scoreless for the first inning this weekend. This one misses upstairs. Okay, she hasn't chased. Do you give in here, or knowing that you still have a little bit of leeway on the base paths, do you try and, I don't want to say waste a pitch, but spot one?
I don't give in to Brown for sure.
She didn't. Swing and a miss. That is going to be out number 3 on a Premier Bank strikeout. And Ellie Clem, after surrendering 3 runs early, has settled in herself. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left aboard. 4 are in the books. No change in our score from Napoleon. Pilots 3, Archers nothing. You're watching DCTV Sports.
For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org. Simplify your everyday banking with convenient account options and digital banking features that fit your unique lifestyle. Premier Bank, everyday banking solutions designed for you. Explore solutions today at yourpremierbank.com.
Well, there you take a look at Kendra Waldron, number 28. A little bit of emotional support from a couple of her teammates on the infield, the corners in. What do you say to somebody who's just in the zone, who hasn't allowed a hit, has only allowed 2 balls in play? Hey, keep it up.
Keep doing what you're doing. Don't let me get in your way.
Exactly. You know, I'm here if you need me.
Exactly.
Goodness. Well, she's been dominant. And she'll deal to 5, 6, and 7. Loniger, Pierce, and Sproles. Second trip to the plate, squaring to bunt. And Loniger fouls this one straight back. Loniger was actually the first Archer to reach safely. It came on a pass ball on a swing and a miss on strike 3. She was quickly, though, erased, trying to steal 2 pitches later on a great throw by freshman catcher Daniela Coble. 0-1 the count here. Swing and a miss. You can see the seam sit fat on that one.
And I have no problem stealing even when they were
Sure.
2 runs down early in the game. The fact that you can't wait around for hits against Kendra Waldron. We mentioned just opponents at just 155 off Waldron.
2-2, a little out early in this one. Nothing more than a extra pitch. Count remains 0-2 as they get the ball back into Kendra Waldron. Andrew Ham, the athletic director here at Napoleon. Let's also take a moment to tip our cap to him and his staff. They have been tremendous hosts for our crew this weekend. There's a swing and a miss. She got her. Another Premier Bank strikeout to lead off the top of the 5th.
Just incredible now. 5 straight innings that Kendra Waldron has struck out the leadoff hitter. Boy, that makes it tough to put up runs.
I have that as the 10th K of the game. Is that correct?
Well, the fifth time to start off an inning.
Yes.
So perfect 5 for 5, but that is 10 Premier Bank strikeouts now for Kendra Waldron, who really is dealing. And again, just 1 walk surrendered here this afternoon as well.
First pitch off the mark for Kara Pierce. Pierce, a strikeout victim to end the second. Swing and a miss here. 1-1.
That's a good-looking heat right there. You're down in the count, and you just go right down Main Street. But, boy, that one really had some velo behind it.
1-1. Off speed. She got out on her front foot. Again, this is where she keeps you guessing as a hitter because you're thinking, okay, do I sit back and sit on that fastball? And then all of a sudden, she gives you a piece of candy, and you just can't time it out. And right there, a perfect example. Out on her front foot, hands just kind of casting. We'll see what she deals here because she can throw whatever she wants at 1 and 2. A rise ball, and that's just merciless. Strike 3, the 11th of the ball game for Kendra Waldron, 2 down.
Great job by Waldron there. Another Premier Bank strikeout. But again, Brent, you mentioned it. You know, you throw that hard. A lot of times you just rely on that fastball. You just throw heat. But she pitches.
She does.
She's not afraid to go inside, outside. She's not afraid to throw that off-speed pitch, whether it be a curveball, a rise ball.
She's got that screwgy.
You throw the screwball. She's got a nasty changeup. We've seen that many times.
The 0-1. Swing and a miss. Sproles down in the count now, 0-2.
But she knows the hitters so well, so there's only certain girls she'll use that changeup against, only certain ones she'll use the rise against. But, again, she is out there pitching, just trying to keep you from getting timed up.
Oh, wow. That, again, is just good morning, good afternoon, and good night. 3 straight pitches, 3 straight strikes, capital K, capital K, capital K, as she strikes out the side again. We go to the bottom of the 5th. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. No change in our score. Pilots 3, Archers nothing. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Personalized service and quality products in a friendly and caring atmosphere. Schedule your appointment today. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Stadium Drive in Defiance and online at visionsource-brunswickeye.com.
Well, the Pilots struck early and often, but ever since the second inning, Ellie Clem, Antwerp starter, and her defense, let's tip the cap to the other 8 players on the field, have also settled in, and this has turned into a nifty pitcher's duel as the Pilots making those 3 early runs stand up in a 3-0 ball game. It is the playoffs. There is no margin for error. You win, you earn the right to wear the jersey one more time. You lose, and you put your gear away until next season.
Well, I've been impressed with Antwerp. They did not get the start they wanted. They fell behind 2-0 in that first inning. The Pilots tacked on another run in the second, but the Archers have hung tough here, especially when you consider this is the Antwerp team that finished 1-6 in the GMC. They were 7th place in an 8-team league, but certainly they're playing at a high level here this afternoon. They've just not figured out Kendra Waldron. And you can say that about just about every team that has faced Kinder Walden this season.
That's a pretty expansive club. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the leadoff hitter, Ava Sigler, 0 for 2, looking for her first hit of the afternoon. Takes above the visor, 2-2. Somebody from the Pilot dugout, somewhat tongue-in-cheek, but also accurate and patient, as this one's popped up, and you want your best athlete to make the call, and that's what Clem does. She hauls in the pop-up on the infield for the first out here in the 5th.
A good sequence that time by Clem. Just the second time this afternoon that the Pilots have not had their leadoff batter on base, so a welcome first out for that Archer defense.
Up steps the freshman catcher, Daniela Coble, 1 for 2 with a single back in the 3rd inning. She's also flown out to right. Was retired by a tremendous sliding catch by Rayleigh Franklin.
Yeah, that looked like it was going to be extra bases off the bat, and Franklin made a spectacular catch, one for the highlight reel.
Coble steps out looking at a 1-1 count. There's just no way you're a freshman, 24. There is no way you are a freshman. The 1-1 just holds herself so well, and she sends a missile into right field. Misjudged by Franklin. It will roll all the way to the wall. And the Pistons firing on the Daniela Coble Baby Shark train as she stands up into second base with a 1-out double.
What a great swing that time by Coble. You could not hit that ball any harder. That was just a line drive that refused to come down. That's a tough play for Franklin. Those line drives right at you, what are you going to do? I mean, that was going to be hit regardless of what she did, but she got a late jump back, but was able to hold her to a double. But what a swing there by the freshman one more time.
Well, Aubrey Limber digs in. She's got to be careful here because she's trying to slap, but at the same time, you got to stay inside the box. We've had that call now twice so far this weekend against Ayersville. Well, she takes a running start at it, too. It's so unorthodox. It doesn't lend itself to any other sport. And it is a tough skill to learn, especially when it's your non-dominant hand or side in this case.
Well, she's really good at it. She does get that nice walking start there. Starts in the deep part of the batter's box and usually has that front foot, that right foot, right on the chalk at the beginning of the batter's box.
So is the key there to start deep in the batter's box to make sure that you stay within the confines of it as she takes a strike on the outside corner? That pitch was dotted by Ellie Clem.
Yeah, that's a great pitch there by Clem. But you also have to start deep. But you also have to make sure you're not fading toward first base. A lot of times a lefty may try to do that.
Pops this one up, but it will get out of play. So the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bottom of the 5th. Winner of this game moves on to the regional semifinals next Wednesday, the 28th, as this one popped up left side, barely having to move, and the shortstop, Caroline Roars, puts the leather to it. 2 away.
Again, Ellie Clem has been very effective here, doing a great job of mixing things up. Hasn't been as dominant as Waldron with all those punch-outs, 12 to be exact, but she's been awfully effective, really doing a great job of pitching. And now we will see Addison Zartman re-enter here in an RBI opportunity with Daniela Coble at second base and 2 outs.
Addison Zartman 1 for 1, singled, and was courtesy run for by Gabby Miles. It's the last run either of these two teams have scored, coming all the way back in the second. Zartman a little underneath it, and in and out of the glove. Almost a tremendous running catch by freshman second baseman Clara Roars, but she could not haul it in, and Daniela Coble wasn't stopping until she crosses home plate. A huge insurance run, and how about that? Coach Zart re-enters Addie Zartman at just the right time to make it 4-0 Pilots.
Well, they've been pushing all the buttons the right time, but that was kind of a no-brainer there. Get Zartman back in, and twice now Zartman comes up first pitch swinging. Both result in singles. This time an RBI single, and that stretches the lead for the Pilots to 4-0. Breaking a 2-inning scoreless streak here by Ayersville.
Beecher digging in, looking at a 1-0 count. Ryland. This one lined into left field, and it will get down for a base hit. Zartman hobbles into second base. She was moving on contact, realizing I got to make up the difference with that heavy knee brace on. And Rylan Beecher keeps the train moving. That's technically her second hit of the ball game. We gave her a single back in the third, even though the third out was retired on runner's interference by Aubrey Limber, the ball hitter. She's having herself a productive day at the 8-hole. And here's Mickey Shreve.
Yeah, Beecher, another great swing. And again, first pitch swinging. We've seen that all afternoon, and why not? Ellie Clem's not someone's going to beat herself with a walk, so she's going to attack the zone early. You get a pitch, you like it, and you're well. No reason not to go after. It's been great math for the Archers here. For the Pilots here this afternoon, as they really have done a nice job of putting together some hits. I have them unofficially for 13 hits here this afternoon.
Shreve digging in from the right side, looking at a 1-1 count. Swing and a miss. Good change of pace by Clem.
Yeah, and again, she does a great job of pitching. She does such a good job of getting you to hit her pitch. But this Ayersville approach here this afternoon has been really good. I think it helps they've seen Ellie Clem before this season. You kind of know a little bit what to expect.
So deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 aboard here in the bottom of the 5th. This one a shot and off the glove of Pierce at third. Zartman will hold up. There's no way they're going to try and score on that. And the base is now juiced. And guess who's stepping to the plate? Kendra Waldron.
Boy, a tough spot here for Ellie Clem, and another great swing, this time by Mickey Shreve, as she really hit that ball on the laces. Good effort there by Kara Pierce at third base. It bounces off her glove. I think they're going to score that, probably an infield single there. That ball was well struck, not an easy play.
Waldron, 1 for 3 today. Singled and scored back in the first. She has chased some rise balls in her last 2 at bats. Struck out swinging on both occasions. She's got a golden opportunity to help her own cause out here with her team leading 4-0. That one's way out of the strike zone, 1-1. And you have to pitch to her here, Scoop. If you're Ellie Clem, you've got nowhere to put her.
I'm not against walk some of the base load, but when you're down 4 here late innings, you just have to roll the dice and go after Kendra Waldron. And Waldron right now staying disciplined, laying off those rise balls to get herself ahead in the count here at 2-1.
Showing a lot more patience here, forcing Clem to have to come at her. Oof. Boy, and she bites her lower lip. She looks down with a forced smile at Coach Zartman in the third base box. Inside corner now is a pitcher who's nailed that spot consistently today. I'm not sure if she thought, or I should take a swing at it, but here's the 2-2. This one a liner and into left center field. It's going to score at least 1. And Coach Zart's going to go ahead and hold up Rylan Beecher at third. Kendra Waldron with her second hit of the afternoon. Give her an RBI and make it 5-0 Ayersville.
How about the Pilots? Just tremendous at bats here. 4 consecutive hits now against Ellie Clem. And another 2-strike, 2-out hit for the Pilots. They now enjoy their largest lead at 5-0. Trying to get some serious separation as Michaela Sierra steps to the dish here. She's 2 for 3. Has had 2 base hits, got called out for batter interference just a minute ago.
She can get that bad taste out of her mouth right here with a base hit. Pilot at every bag as she takes above the letters. 2-0.
And right now she's doing what she needs to do. Force Clem to throw one across the plate. Right now in the hitter's count, no place to put her. Base is juiced.
2-0, ground ball to short and through the wickets of Roars. 1 run will score. A second run being waved around third as Shreve will score. It's 7-0 Pilots. Well, Roars stayed back on that ball, Scoop, and it ate her up. She didn't get her leather down, and it went right by her.
Yeah, sometimes those balls hit right after the toughest balls of the field. That ball was hit well, but that's typically a play that Caroline Roars is going to make. But when it goes through the wickets there, 2 Pilots come across, and just like that, Ayersville has blown this wide open as the Pilots now enjoy a 7-0 advantage.
And we're going to have a meeting in the circle. And I know that's just, it wears on you as a player and in particularly as a pitcher. And we saw this yesterday with the young Hermler hurler. And she had 2, I think maybe even was it 3 innings, where the third out just wasn't recorded due to an error, whether it be a physical or a mental one by her teammates. And all of a sudden, one mistake becomes 2, 2 becomes 3, 3 becomes 4. And this is a meeting in the circle right now to say, listen, you're 1 out away from getting a chance to get back to the plate.
Well, you're right, but right now you just got to tip your cap to Ayersville, because remember, early in this inning there was 2 outs, just 1 runner on base, and you're looking at the 7, 8, 9 spots. They all got base hits.
Coble pops this one up. Pardon me, Brown pops this one up, and that will do it. So the meeting obviously paid dividends, but not before a big crooked number for Ayersville. 4 runs on, what do we got, 5 hits?
5 hits, 1 error.
And 2 left aboard. We will head to the top of the 6th. Completely different ball game. We'll see if Antwerp can't muster some offense as they trail 7-0. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Visit Mark Moats Ford and check out some of the best new Ford models. Mark Moats Ford has been serving the Defiance community since 1916. Visit them today, County Road 424 in Defiance, and online at markmoatsford.com.
Top of the 6th, 7 runs for Ayersville as they put up a huge crooked number, 4 in the bottom of that last frame. There you see, I won't call it a lack of focus. We'll just call it a rare moment of clumsiness for Kendra Waldron. She went to smack the softball into her glove, as she's done millions of times, and missed. So she's got to go track it down. And this one rolls across the plate. Now, this should have been Rayleigh Franklin, but we're going to have a pinch hitter here. This is going to be Madison Schmidt. Looks like the sophomore will hit in place of Franklin in the 8-hole here.
Well, that's a tough pitch right there. She falls behind 1-0, then she comes with the heat. Just misses inside. And Schmidt, another one that's really crowding the plate here, trying to take away the inner third.
That one a strike, even though it glances off the mitt of Daniela Coble, and you could hear the shot off of her face mask. 2-1. This one misses upstairs, ball 3. Schmidt on the season, small sample size, Scoop. She's only had 10 at-bats, but she has 4 hits, so hitting 400. And she's worked the count to her favor, 3-1. Swings and misses here, way late.
Good-looking heater that time from Waldron.
But look how far she's choking up on the bat here with 2 strikes. Way up on it. And you got to figure you're going to see another heater. Here's my best. See if you can catch up to it. Swing and a miss. She got her. Ball squirts out of Coble's mitt. She'll have to go down to first just to make it official. On the strikeout, score at 2-3 on the putout. And there's another Premier Bank strikeout.
Of 16 outs here this afternoon for Antwerp, 13 have been via the strikeout. So Waldron continues to deal the 6th consecutive inning where she struck out the leadoff batter for the Archers.
Here's Clara Roars digging in. Still hearing the mitt pop from Daniela Coble. Boy, the sun is out, then the sun is not out. And it is hot 1 minute and a little chilly the next. Whoa, oh, wow, inner third. And when I say inner third, that had Roars backed off the plate a little bit, but a called strike 1.
Well, how many times we've seen that when she's fallen? A few times she's fallen behind 1-0, she comes with that heater on the inside edge.
Swing and a miss here, and we talked about it. So many pitchers and even coaches don't want their pitchers, especially at the prep level, to work inside. Is there legitimacy to that, or is that just something that I don't want to call it a swing and a miss, strike 3, another Premier Bank strikeout? Is there legitimacy in that? Afraid of giving up maybe a hit batter and a free base runner? Or has that just become the evolution of the game, in your opinion?
Well, I think a lot of it starts with the fact you don't want to give up a freebie, and you're worried about just giving up those extra bases. So I think that's the mindset. But also there's a lot of kids that don't have the confidence to throw that pitch on that inner third. So I think that probably has more to do with it. But it has resulted in the game maybe evolving that way where you see more and more kids just trying to make a living on that outside edge.
0-1 the count to Ellie Clem. She was trying to slap it, and that one switched back. There's a beauty on the outside corner, strike 2. Clem, one of just 3 Archer hitters today to actually put a ball in play off of Kendra Waldron. This one popped up left side. Brown is there, routine put out. And the Archers go in order here in the top of the 6th. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. 7-0 Pilots as we head to the bottom of the frame. You're watching DCTV Sports.
At Arthur Law Firm, we understand how overwhelming life can be after being seriously injured in a car accident. With over 50 years of experience, Arthur Law Firm has a track record of getting the results you deserve. When you don't know where to turn, get answers with Arthur. Call us today.
Ohio is in a foster care crisis. Kids with real needs, medical, emotional, behavioral, are waiting for homes. Cornerstone Treatment Foster Care is looking for families ready to make a difference. You've thought about it, now it's time. Contact Cornerstone Treatment Foster Care today.
Bottom of the 6th. 7-0 Pilots leading the Archers of Antwerp. These two teams played roughly a month ago. It was a pitcher's duel. Pilots escaped with a 1-0 win. They scored 2 in the first, 1 in the second, and then tacked on a big crooked number 4 in the 5th, as they are in command right now, up 7-0 here as we head to the bottom of the 6th, as it will be Ava Sigler, the third baseman, senior third baseman, looking for her first hit of the afternoon.
Right now, Brent, you have to really credit this Pilot offense. They've been aggressive here all afternoon. There's a good-looking changeup from Clem to start things out on Sigler. But through 30 batters, Ayersville this afternoon, 15 hits. 15 for 30, hitting 500 off Ellie Clem. So the offense has really come to play. They've been able to bunch some hits together as we witnessed in that last inning. They put together 5 hits, 4 of them consecutively.
The 1-2 changeup. This one nubbed to short. Charging on it is Roars. Fires off her back foot. It really wasn't even that close. That was a tough play made to look easy by Caroline Roars.
Yeah, great job by Roars, and great job there by Ellie Clem. Another tough pitch. Again, sometimes it's not about getting a strikeout. It's about getting kids to hit your pitch, and that time Clem did just that to Sigler. And a much-needed first out for Antwerp, trying to keep this game right where it's at.
Digging in from the right side, Daniela Coble, freshman catcher, is 2 for 3 today. A single, a double, and a run scored. The 0-1 got out in front of a changeup, fouled up the third base line, strike 2.
That's a great pitch. You're on top 0-1. You take a little off, you keep it down there below the knees. Now you quickly have the freshman in a hole at 0-2.
The 0-2. This one going Oppo, well struck coming in, now going back, and it will bounce off the base of the wall. Coble will strut into second with her second double of the afternoon.
Yeah, that ball was smoked there by Coble, who's had quite a day and quite a tournament. She now is 5 for 6.
And you see her blow a kiss to the dugout, showing a little bit of personality now. Enjoy it. Absolutely, number 24. You're having a heck of a ball game. All of a sudden, this place gets as quiet as a library. Limber digs in. Bonsand eating the softball. Ellie Clem. I thought she would have had a play at first there. Roars looked like she was over, but Clem didn't feel comfortable, and you know why? Did she step out of the box? Yep, she's going to be retired.
Yeah, and that's going to force Coble to go back to second base. And you're right, she did have a play, but realized it was a
it wasn't necessary.
Out.
So with 2 away, here's the DP, Addison Zartman. Singled as she re-entered back in the 5th and came around to score one of those 4 runs. Takes in the cellar here, 2-0. Again, the winner of this contest advances to the regional semifinals next week. It will be on Wednesday, the 28th. Opponent still to be determined, as is the location, which you've been around the block a lot more as far as the OHSAA is concerned than I have, but that surprised me somewhat. As this one a ground ball at second, they've got her played well. Roars, fires to first, and that will do it for the Pilots here in the bottom of the 6th. No runs on a hit, no errors, 1 left to board. Archers down to their final 3 outs as they trail 7-0. We'll see if Kendra Waldron can put a cherry on top of a no-hit shutout Sunday when we come back on a Saturday from Napoleon. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and mental health.
Find the resources you need
to make your mental health a priority.
Love your mind.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
Top of the 7th, Kendra Waldron looking to finish what she started and do it in style as she has no hit Antwerp so far. As a matter of fact, just 2 base runners all afternoon long. She'll face 2, 3, and 4, Zuber, Roars, and Hogan's as the Pilots lead it 7-0 and are looking to secure a spot in next Wednesday's regional semifinals. Zuber 0 for 2, struck out looking in the 1st, struck out swinging in the 4th. And she's not alone in keeping that type of company.
No. Just incredible. 14 strikeouts, 1 walk. In fact, both pitchers have done an outstanding job today. 19 combined strikeouts, just 1 walk on the day for both pitchers combined.
1-0 brushes her back a little bit, make it 2-0. The wind has been on again, off again this afternoon. Not nearly as strong as it was yesterday. It was constant yesterday, but it's made for some interesting fly balls as she throws a rise ball, and Zuber can't lay off of it, but she can't catch up to it as she fouls it back. 2-1. I have it buried under a cubic ton of paperwork on our table here, but I've taped so much stuff down because otherwise I thought it would blow halfway across the city. But as far as the potential opponents coming out of, I believe this is, Ayersville's playing in Northwest 6, and I believe they're playing, is this one just misses inside. Woo! It should be 3-2, should it not?
It is 3-2.
Okay, scoreboard is behind a pitch.
Well, a few 3-ball counts all afternoon.
Fastball, slow roller to third, gobbled up by Sigler across the diamond. Boy, that was a close play as Zuber was hustling, but there's where you trust your defense. Score at 5-3, 1 away here in the Archer 7.
Great job by Sigler. Not an easy play. That ball was not hit hard, and Zuber runs well. But a nifty throw across the infield. And a big first out once again for the Pilots.
Change up, nibbles on the inside corner, and Roars just froze. I know what that feeling's like. You see it, and you just can't pull the trigger.
Does she double up here, right here?
I think she's going to speed her up. Whoa, this one's fairly well struck to left field. Coming in, laying out, Sierra cannot make the catch. Rounding first and standing up into second, Caroline Roars puts her hands on her hips. Somewhat in stunned disbelief, she's picked up the first hit of the ball game for Antwerp.
Again, she's just a spectacular athlete, and she's been battling Waldron all afternoon, but Waldron's had the best. But that time finds a little seam out there in left field. A great effort by Michaela Sierra, who
tremendous.
Made a great catch on that. The first Archer hit of the afternoon comes with 1 out in 7.
Now they got a long line to keep moving if they want to get back into this one, as Hogan's 0 for 2, struck out swinging to lead off the second, grounded out to third to end the fourth, digs in and takes a ball. And for the first time today, a hit for the Archers. And here's where, as you can hear that wind whipping up, Kendra Waldron maybe humping it up just a little bit more. Yeah, she was in such a routine. She was in basically easy free-flowing mode, and now she humped that one up for the first time today, maybe the first pitch we've seen her overthrow. And now she's back to her regular self as she deals some nasty heat.
It's a great pitch there. You're down 2-0, and again, the location has really been spot on all afternoon for Waldron.
Yeah, she's ready to pitch now. She wasn't quick pitching earlier, but she was in rhythm. But now, give me the ball, let me deliver, as this one misses just outside. 3-1.
Yeah, another 3-ball count, the second of this inning here. The Archers just showing a little patience here.
3-1, swing and a miss. And again, remember, Coble's just a freshman, but there's where, again, I would never be the first person to attempt to coach catchers, but in watching guys that know it, you got to act like a shock absorber. There's where, again, you subtly can bring a ball in on a corner to try and frame it up. Although Kendra Waldron says, I don't need you to frame anything. Swing and a miss. Another Premier Bank strikeout, make it 15 on the ball game for Kendra Waldron. And the Archers down to their final out, as Loniger will dig in from the right side. 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts. This one misses upstairs. Let's scoop kind of back to that frame. To frame up a pitch, it's so subtle, and it really takes a ton of experience to be able to learn how to do it. The 1-0. Ooh, now there's a great basket stop. Nice job by Coble to get behind it and move out of her crouch. 2-0.
Well, Coble has all the skills, and that's something she's certainly going to master as she gets more and more reps behind the plate.
2-0. Pop straight back. Out of play. Make it 2-1.
A good swing by Loniger. Loniger last week honored by the GMC All Honorable Mention softball team. Joined teammates Ellie Clem, Raylan Zuber, and Caroline Roars with GMC honors. And there's a great fastball that paints that inside corner once again. And now we've got twos are wild here in the top of the 7th.
Down to their final strike. Waldron, long look in. Loniger digs in. Pop foul. She buys herself another swing.
Well, that was a tough pitch from Waldron. Great job by Loniger that time to fight that one off. Count remains even here at 2-2.
Waldron will take a little extra time. Walks around the rubber. Now toes it up. Trying to finish this one off. 2-2 on the way. Ground ball, foul up the third base line.
A great job by Sigler that time. You don't wait to hear if that ball is foul or fair. You field it, you come up throwing. But that time that ball just inches foul. The count still remains at 2-2. Loniger's fought off a couple tough pitches.
She's hanging tough. Really choking up on that bat. Way up the handle. Swing and a miss. She got her. A Premier Bank strikeout and a fitting way for the Honey Badger, Kendra Waldron, to end a dominating performance here this afternoon. Her 15th K of the ball game. She strikes out 2 of 3 outs here in the top of the 7th. 7-0 the final score, as Ayersville firing up the Pistons on that regional semifinal train. It's pulling out of the station. Destination still to be determined next Wednesday, the 28th.
Well, what an impressive district championship here for Ayersville. You know, they've been to the districts 3 consecutive years, one to break through this year, and they do it in style as consecutive one-hitters by Kendra Waldron, and great offense by the Pilots in this district tournament. All in all, outscoring opponents 26-0 as they will head to the regionals next Wednesday, as you mentioned, Brent, in a site to be determined.
We're going to take a quick timeout. We are back with our Mark Moats Ford game and stats recap, as well as our Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show. Final score, Pilots 7, Archers nothing. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Personalized service and quality products in a friendly and caring atmosphere. Schedule your appointment today. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Stadium Drive in Defiance and online at visionsource-brunswickeye.com.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
Simplify your everyday banking with convenient account options and digital banking features that fit your unique lifestyle. Premier Bank. Everyday banking solutions designed for you. Explore solutions today at yourpremierbank.com.
One in 10 kids vape. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Talk to your child about vaping today.
Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding. 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com. Visit Mark Motes Ford and check out some of the best new Ford models. Mark Motes Ford has been serving the Defiance community since 1916. Visit them today, County Road 424 in Defiance, and online at markmotesford.com.
Back at Napoleon, and you reach this far, at least as far as the district finals are concerned, you're going to get a little bit of hardware. And Antwerp, a very worthy opponent, but unfortunately for the Archers, they just ran in to too much offense and a pitcher that just plain you have to catch on an off day to have any type of hope. Kendra Waldron had far from an off day. 16 strikeouts. She only walks one. She allows one hit, and that didn't come until the final inning in 7 innings pitched, as she was dominant today, and so was her team, as the Pilots moving on with a 7-0 victory. As we welcome you back, Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller. We're going to have a bit of an extended Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center post-game show and Mark Motes Ford game recap and summary, because after Ayersville is waiting right now, I should say, after Antwerp's presentations are being made, Ayersville will have theirs as well. But we anticipate being joined by Coach Zartman, and I think we're going to try for senior right fielder Mickey Shreve, who went 3 for 3 in the 9-hole with a run scored. Again, you could pick probably anybody off of this roster, Scoop, but I think it's time to give some of these seniors, kind of the unsung heroes, so to speak, a little bit of an opportunity to have a microphone.
Well, certainly Mickey Shreve more than deserving of that honor here this afternoon. She was honored by the GMC honorable mention softball team this year, but you get that kind of production from the bottom of the order. We mentioned how she's a luxury to have there in that 9-hole, where she's kind of that second leadoff hitter for the Pilots. A perfect 3 for 3, had a run scored. And how about the 7, 8, 9 hitters for Ayersville this afternoon here, Brent?
Yeah.
They come up big here. They had 7 hits out of the 7, 8, 9 slots. So that probably was the big difference maker. Remember, this was a 1-0 game between these two teams.
Yep.
Just 25 days ago, but yet the bottom of the order, when they're those table setters for when that lineup turns over, boy, that makes it tough. And the Pilots were able to really get the bats alive. 16 hits overall, 7 runs here this afternoon as they go to the regionals in style here with a big win this afternoon.
Well, and again, a quality win certainly means you have to have a worthy opponent, and that was certainly Antwerp here this afternoon. And how about the job Ellie Clem did? Again, after surrendering 3 runs through the first 2 innings, she settled down for a couple, but a big 4 spot in that 5th just spelled the difference. But I've got her for 6 innings pitched. Again, 16 hits on a couple of innings where it was extended. She thought she might have gotten that 3rd out and been no worse for the wear, but not the case. She did strike out 5 today, and a tip of the cap to the Archers senior pitcher. She was more than competitive today.
Well, she really was. You know, remember, she's seen a team that's now won 16 ball games in a row, so she had her hands full. But anytime you do not give up a free base, you've got my total respect, and that was Ellie Clem this afternoon. 5 strikeouts, did not surrender a walk. But credit to this Pilot team. We mentioned how there are such tough outs 1 through 9 in the lineup, and that proved to be the case here this afternoon. As once again, like we saw yesterday, everyone in this Ayersville lineup contributed to the offense here, and they, again, are going into the regional with a lot of momentum on their side.
Again, looking through some of the paperwork, again, I had to tape down everything on our table here this afternoon to make sure it didn't blow away, but taking a look at the brackets, Ayersville will get the winner of the Hopewell-Loudon, and it's the Tiffin-Calvert game. So we'll wait and see who comes out of that side of the bracket. Again, site to be determined, but right now I'm not sure Ayersville will tell you they care who it is. As you see the district championship trophy being raised by some of the seniors here. You've talked about this before, Scoop. You respect everyone. You fear no one. But right now, you reach this level, and it's about what you do versus what any opponent might do.
Well, I totally agree. They don't have to really be concerned about who they're playing. They just want to keep playing at the level they've been doing. So, you know, right now you're not going to reinvent the wheel. You just want to keep on keeping on, and they've got it clicking in every phase. You know, we talked about the great pitching they have. We've talked about their great hitting. We've talked about their defense. They played clean once again this afternoon, and I also think you have to look at their base run. They're very aggressive. They run the bases very intelligently. They're going to put some pressure on some defenses. When you do that, you can force mistakes against your opponents.
Well, lining up for a well-deserved picture. That will be going in the trophy case, but rest assured, they're not done. They still want to keep that line moving. We're going to keep our postgame moving. Quick timeout, and when we come back, we anticipate being joined by Coach Zartman. We're going to try and get senior right fielder Mickey Shreve. Don't you go anywhere. More of the Mark Moats Ford game recap and Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show right after this. You're watching DCTV Sports.
In life, unexpected challenges can test us. If you've been seriously injured in a car accident, you deserve a team that understands. Because your story matters. Call Arthur Law Firm today. We'll fight for you every step of the way.
Ohio is in a foster care crisis. Kids with real needs, medical, emotional, behavioral, are waiting for homes. Cornerstone Treatment Foster Care is looking for families ready to make a difference. You've thought about it, now it's time. Contact Cornerstone Treatment Foster Care today.
Being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and mental health.
Find the resources you need to make your mental health a priority.
Love your mind.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
1 in 10 kids vape. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Talk to your child about vaping today.
Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Personalized service and quality products in a friendly and caring atmosphere. Schedule your appointment today. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Stadium Drive in Defiance and online at visionsource-brunswickeye.com.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. But only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to Napoleon as the Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show continues. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller, 7-0 as the Pilots continue to fire up the Pistons on their playoff season. Next stop, we're not quite sure where yet, but you know what? They don't have to worry about it for at least another 24 hours. Time to enjoy a 7-0 win against Antwerp. And Mickey Shreve joining us right now. All smiles. I wonder why. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How's it feel right now? Has it set in yet, or is it still kind of seem surreal?
I am on a high right now. It is so amazing.
Talk about the team's mindset. And let's go back to the beginning of the week, because you hadn't had a game since last Friday against Tenora. You're supposed to play on Wednesday. Mother Nature had other plans, and it's not like you just had a one-day delay. You had a 2-day delay, and then all of a sudden you have to turn around and play less than 24 hours on this same field again this afternoon. Talk about how you handled it both mentally and how the team handled it physically.
Well, I'm going to be honest, we got a little upset when the game got canceled because we were supposed to play, and we were all hyped and we were excited, but then we learned we were playing, and then we just kept working hard in practices, and everything paid off, obviously. And then, yeah, we were just excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it paid off, so.
Well, Coach Zartman, and we were here as you guys got off the bus very early, and he basically treated it like another business meeting. He said, look, it's 11:15. You know the drill. You know your warm-ups. You know when you're supposed to be in the cages. He goes, nothing changes today compared to yesterday. Was the team, can you treat this as just another ball game?
Well, I mean, it wasn't, we were supposed to not be stressed out because it's just a game, and if once we get stressed, we all just fall apart. But I think we did really good. I think we handled everything really well. So
She scowled for a second there, Scoop. She won 7-0. It's basically you're just taking it one game, one pitch at a time. Is that the best way to put it?
One pitch, one hit, one catch.
And talk about the team 1 through 9. You guys are getting production through the lineup. I mean, my goodness, you were 3 for 3 from the 9 spot. But 7, 8, 9 hitters today had 7 hits. How important is it for you guys going forward here?
Well, I mean, if we're getting hit, we're getting on, and then we're winning. So it's pretty important to hit.
You know, sometimes you shouldn't overcomplicate these things, right?
Yeah, nice and easy.
See it, hit it, score. I think that's you and I could coach if we just found athletes that could handle that type of coaching.
Exactly.
Right? How much did it help? You played Antwerp about a month ago. It was a tight ball game, obviously 1-0. Did it help having had live reps against them about a month ago?
Oh, yeah. It helped so much. And plus, also, there's not as much wind as there was last game. So I think that also helped with our hitting. But having us already seen them, I think it helped us a lot more because then we were used to her. So we kind of already saw what we were expecting.
And, Mickey, this team seems to be improving in every area of the game. I mean, you guys racked out 16 hits today. You got great defense once again, did not commit an error in this district tournament. What can you attribute all this improvement through as the season goes forward?
Just keep improving. There's really nothing you're ever perfect at. You just got to keep working on little things. Even if it's just like get an extra bat, get an extra catch, everything helps.
You have earned the right to wear the uniform at least one more game. Now, we don't know where it's going. No, you have done. You don't have to hope. It was earned today with a 7-0 win. You don't change a thing, though, do you? As far as practice, as far as getting ready, you've got not quite a full week. You know you'll be playing next Wednesday. Yep. It sounds like it's going to be Tiffin Calvert. Where? We're still not quite sure yet. does that change anything? Are you guys just going to stay in routine?
I mean, I don't see why we would change anything if everything's been working.
She's going to be a philosophy professor, I think, probably when she's done. You interested in that? Or maybe a coach?
Nope.
What you going to do?
I'm going to the University of Findlay for their pre-vet med program.
Okay, so there you go. Well, we're not going to graduate you just yet. Okay, you still got some ball left to be played.
Yeah, I hope.
Congratulations to you. Best of luck next
Thank
week. We're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, Coach Zart is back in normal clothes today. We thought we might get day 2 of the baseball pants, but he said maybe next year for another bet. Don't you go anywhere. More of the postgame show right after this on DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com. For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Personalized service and quality products in a friendly and caring atmosphere. Schedule your appointment today. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Stadium Drive in Defiance and online at visionsource-brunswickeye.com. Simplify your everyday banking with convenient account options and digital banking features that fit your unique lifestyle. Premier Bank, everyday banking solutions designed for you. Explore solutions today at yourpremierbank.com.
Back at Napoleon, the Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show rolls on, much like the Ayersville softball team. 7-0 over a very game Antwerp squad here this afternoon. But Ayersville had something that Antwerp didn't, and that is Kendra Waldron. Yeah. My goodness. Looking down at it here, Coach, 7 innings, allows just 1 hit, and that came in the final inning. Walked 1, struck out 16. And Scoop and I have talked about this before. Sometimes you see a pitcher maybe realize, okay, they don't quite have their best stuff, and it takes an inning or two to kind of find the rhythm. Not the case today for the Honey Badgers. She came out of the gates strong. Did you see that? Did you anticipate that before the first pitch?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of expect that out of Kendra every time. She's always ready to go for every game. So she's not a kid that feels a lot of pressure on herself, but she drives herself for these situations. And I wouldn't have any other kid in that position if it were anybody else. So, I mean,
one of the things Scoop and I were talking about, too, she's not afraid to work both halves of the plate. You said pitch inside. So many coaches are maybe afraid of giving up a free base runner. Yeah. So many pitchers, especially at the prep level, maybe aren't quite confident of their command. But when you can spot it on a regular basis, and credit home plate umpire Dale Carnahan today, too. You hit it. It was a strike today. Yeah. She had Antwerp guessing pretty much from the moment they stepped in.
Oh, yeah. Moving in and out, up and down. I mean, she can do pretty much what she wants when she's on and, in control of everything. Sometimes she overthrows things, and then we start missing spots. But, yeah, today I thought she was in overall control of every pitch that she wanted to throw. It was there, and she did a phenomenal job. So.
And, Coach, as good as Kendra Waldron was this afternoon, I thought the rest of the team 1 through 9 in your lineup just came to play. Another great team win. We had you down 7 hits out of the 7, 8, 9 spots out of your 3 seniors in the starting lineup this afternoon. Talk about the importance of that production 1 through 9.
Well, when you can get 1 through 9 hitting, getting on base, puts a lot of pressure on the defense and a pitcher as well, because now usually you have your outs in the lineup that you can kind of pick and choose, and probably going to get one here or there. But when everybody's starting to put the ball in play, puts a lot of pressure on the defense. And seniors, Rylan, Mickey Shreve, Addison stepped up big time. I can't, Kendra struggled a little bit at the plate today because she's chasing things, but, Mickey was like a 9-hole hitter, like another leadoff hitter for us.
You beat me to it. 3 for 3 with a run scored. I mean, once that first lineup goes through, she becomes another table setter, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does. And, we've been able to turn our lineup over multiple times this year because of her. And she just goes up and does her thing. If you give her too much to think about, she doesn't do well. And we just go do you, Mickey. So just go do you, girl. And she's done a phenomenal job. Again, I look at Rylan and Mickey, two kids that haven't had a lot of opportunities over the last couple years, JV players, and they just keep grinding in a program. And to me, that's what makes me proud is they step up in moments like this that they didn't have a lot of varsity experience. And now they just step in and do their job and have a good time doing it. So.
Yeah, Rylan, I thought, has some big hits out of the 8 spot there.
Yeah.
Just playing with such confidence. We saw that fantastic catch to end yesterday's ball game. And, again, your senior step up, that's so important, especially when you've got a talented group of underclassmen. How important has that been to get that senior leadership this year?
Huge. I'm going to be honest, it's been the best. This has probably been the best team I've coached as far as attitude and getting along. There's been no drama at all this year, so that makes my job really, really easy, and all the coaches. And they push themselves, so they're really good at firing at each other in a nice way to tell each other to pick it up. But seniors have been phenomenal this year, leading the way, and I can't ask for more.
You mentioned attitude, and I'm going to go to Baby Shark. Daniela Coble, the freshman catcher, again today goes 3 for 4 with a couple of doubles and a run scored. But one play that really stands out for me was gunning out the would-be base stealer at second. There was nothing definitive. She didn't celebrate. She didn't pound her chest. She didn't even fist pump. She just looked over at somebody in the dugout, kind of cocked her head sideways as if to say, yeah, I expected that.
Yeah, well,
how good can this kid be?
She, sky's the limit. I think if she keeps her head on straight and doesn't let the moment get too big for her and keeps grinding, she can go to the who knows? I mean, she has all the weapons. Got the arm, got the bat, receives well behind the plate. That's something we can improve on, but sky's the limit for her. And I know she was mad because she gave up a drop third strike and the ball got away from her, and for them to steal and her to gun her out, I mean, that's what she expects of herself. And I'm going to be honest, first game of the year, we weren't sure if she was going to be the one back there or not, and she threw one kid out right away, and we're like, okay, sold. Because you always worry about freshmen stepping up at the moment. So, but yeah.
You got Seneca's next week and Tiffin Calvert. Obviously, a very good program over the years. What's going to be the approach for your girls next week as far as your practice regimen and so forth?
Yeah, well, obviously we play Wednesday, so holidays Monday. So I think we're going to have a voluntary practice because we can't make anything mandatory on the weekends. I don't expect any of them not to be there because that's the type of kids they are. So if we say voluntary, they're going to show up, and we'll get to Monday, at least hit Tuesday when we can be there. We'll really focus on our defense and get going back on our situation stuff like we've been working. And then, show up and play Tiffin Calvert. I kind of like somewhat not knowing anything about anybody. That's kind of how we do our grade 8 tournament. We play some teams that we don't ever see, and we just show up and play ball, and then we kind of go with the flow and adjust as the game goes. So that's what I'm excited about. Nobody around here's played them, so we can't offer out free snow cones or anything to get free information. So, but so scouting from anybody else. But yeah, we're excited. They're a good team. We're a good team, and that's what you want to see at this level. So,
all right, Coach. As always, congratulations. Enjoy it for at least the bus ride home, will you?
Great win.
Thanks, guys.
We're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, we're going to put a powder blue and gray bow on our Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding. 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com. Visit Mark Moats Ford and check out some of the best new Ford models. Mark Moats Ford has been serving the Defiance community since 1916. Visit them today, County Road 424 in Defiance, and online at markmoatsford.com.
They're still celebrating. I tell you what, you just can't expect to come down off of a high like this. You win a district championship, even though this is one of the surreal things about being a sportscaster. You get here before everybody arrives. There's this incredible electricity when the stands are full. Then we leave after everyone has left, and you kind of look around going, my goodness. And it doesn't matter if it's Napoleon softball field or the Shoe down in Columbus. It's always been surreal to me. But right now, good to see Ayersville's players and their parents just savoring this for a little bit, Scoop. You don't always win a district championship. They don't come around that often, and they're going to take time to enjoy it.
Well, they should, because, as you mentioned, not every school gets the experience of going to the regional tournament, and this is a really special time for the kids and their families. So nice to see everybody kind of hanging around here. What a special week here for the Ayersville Pilots. Just total domination. You know, in 2 games here at Napoleon, they racked out 35 hits, gave up just 2, scored 26 runs, did not allow a single run. Their defense played clean. They really are clicking in every phase of the game. Really excited what's ahead for this team and what they can do next week as they head to the regionals.
We know it will be Wednesday. We know it will be Tiffin Calvert. As of the time we sign off, we're still not sure of the location, but at this point, I don't think it matters for either team. We'll get you an update sometime early next week. Scoop, appreciate you throwing on the headsets here. Appreciate our crew doing more than yeoman's work. Everybody had to adjust their schedules with the original washout on Wednesday. What we have left in store as far as our broadcast schedule, just keep it tuned to DCTV. Check out our social media, and we will update you the minute we know where we're headed. But we can certainly say this, it is a Pilot Saturday as they are moving on to the regional semifinals with a 7-0 win over Antwerp. For Scoop Miller, I'm Brent Balbinot. For our entire crew, our sponsors for helping make the broadcast a possibility, we thank you, the fan, for tuning in. Final score again, Ayersville 7, Antwerp 0. You've been watching a presentation of DCTV Sports.